Yo, what's going on YouTube? And welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte, and we are taking a look today at the latest in Boston. What's going on with Jake Debrusk? It's been a pretty polarizing situation there. Are we going to see a resolution sometime soon? More likely than not, yes. Tomas Hertl, San Jose. Big situation going on there. They have a big pending unrestricted free agent. So if he decides at the end of the season he wants to walk, he can do that. But I think the Sharks are going to try and get a deal done as quickly as possible before the deadline so they don't have to worry about that. But we have to go over the latest there. So let's start off in Boston. So the Bruins have a situation that's been a situation for over a year now. Jake DeBrusk, number 74 on the Boston Bruins, has been kind of all over the place. And this is from Pierre LeBrun. Jake DeBrusk agent said the trade demand remains in place. He has informed teams they're willing to work on an extension to help facilitate a trade because a lot of teams are concerned about the $4.5 million qualifying offer this summer. And that is a key part of this situation because DeBrusk, for as good of a player as he's been in his career, the funny thing is, from that 2016 draft, he's the best of those three guys, of Zach Senyshyn, Jakub Zboril, and Jake DeBrusk. He was the third guy picked out of those three picks in a row. He is still going to likely be on his way out of Boston. And I think that still kind of resonates for Bruins fans. I don't think they forgot about that 2016 draft yet. With good reason, because you look at the guys that were picked right after, that's not gonna go away for a long time in Boston. That until Kyle Connor, Matt Barzal, Jacob Chikrin, do I want to continue this list? Maybe not. But until those guys retire, that's always gonna hang over the Bruins, and that's just how this kind of is. And the qualifying offer is something to look at because I think a lot of teams are saying we need to get a deal done because we don't want to give $4.5 million to this guy on a 1 year or 2 year deal. That just doesn't really make sense for a lot of teams. And if they're a team that's looking to get better and be a playoff team, they're probably not going to have the cap space to get that done. Now, I think there are going to be teams in the mix there. And this is from LeBron again. DeBrusk has not changed his mind. He had that press conference after he scored 2 goals. He's been really good. He had 2 goals against LA. I want to say 2 goals against Arizona. Like, he's been scoring goals here. And he finally came out and talked to the media since November, I think was the last time he talked. And, of course, they were asking him questions about his future. And he was very much of the mindset, I don't want to be a distraction to the team. I don't want to be a distraction to the team. But we all have the sense that his mindset has not changed. And, one of the reporters actually did a good job kind of cornering him and pretty much making him say, that still stands. I do want to get traded. Without saying it, he said it. So hopefully there's a resolution to that. I could see the Senators, I could see the Devils being 2 of the best fits for the reason that if it comes down to not getting an offer done, those are the 2 teams with the most cap space that need wingers, scoring wingers, that are maybe willing to eat that $4.5 million on a 1 or 2 year deal because they have the money to do so. So I could see that being a real possibility for Jake DeBrusk. I think that's his best shot out of Boston at this rate. But again, I'll keep you guys up to date on that. But again, I think the qualifying offer for this summer is definitely keeping teams away from DeBrusk, and not even ignoring the fact that his price is going to be high. You're probably looking at a first and maybe a second or third round pick in return. So we'll look at that. So now this is from Elliot Friedman. Noel Acciari is an under the radar trade chip to keep an eye on. Obviously, that's going with the sentiment that the Panthers want to make a big trade at the deadline. Now I will talk about in the next couple videos here. There's been rumors about Spencer Knight being on the block. The Flyers have been checking out Owen Tippett. But Noel Acciari is the most likely to get traded. I think they've kind of shut down the Tippett and Knight rumors. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Panthers are doing their due diligence and at least looking at trades. I'm not saying they're going to make that trade. But if they could bring in a superstar player, potentially a guy like Chikrin, you can't tell me they would say no to that, right? So this is from Elliot Friedman. Under the radar name to keep an eye on is Acciari. San Jose are taking their run at keeping Tomas Hertl, which is kind of segueing us into the next thing here. Vancouver, our players are getting sick of the trade rumors, and that I'll be making a video about that. But yeah, Canucks fans aren't too thrilled, or Canucks players aren't too thrilled with all the rumors around their team. Yeah, suck it up, Buttercup. That's how it works. That might be my quote of the year. Suck it up, Buttercup. So that's my thoughts on that. So I'm getting back to Tomas Hertl. This is from Dan Rosen. The Sharks are almost guaranteed to move Tomas Hertl if he isn't extended by the deadline. I don't think that's any real surprise to anybody. I don't think the Sharks can afford to do that. Kind of like their team down the road in Anaheim. You know, the Ducks, they want to keep Hampus Lindholm, Josh Manson, Rickard Rakell, but they can't afford. They're more worried about the thought of losing them in free agency for nothing than waiting till the end of the regular season, going into the offseason, for them to make up their mind. And I think that's something that the Sharks are in a real kind of tailspin too. It's almost like cash in your assets just so you don't get ass out this summer. I think that's where the Sharks are kind of going to look at this thing with Hertl, as much as it would suck for Sharks fans, really, just, fans in general, of course, for the team. But this is definitely something we'll be looking at here, because this is going to be a big deal guy if he ends up going onto the trade bait board and is going to get traded. The San Jose Sharks are taking their run at keeping Hertl. That was from Elliot Friedman. Also from Friedman, the Sharks are really trying to make it work with Tomas Hertl, but it's unclear if it'll get done. And that's where things go a little bit. There's that little sense of doubt there. And what do I always say in my videos? If there's smoke, there's usually fire behind it. So that is definitely a big storyline. If, again, the Sharks look at trading Hertl, that will be a big ticket guy, a potentially the top player available at the trade deadline, even ahead of Philip Forsberg and Claude Giroux. Tomas Hertl being available would be huge. So that is definitely something that I will keep you guys up to date on, but that storyline kind of continues to develop. And it's kind of like the Ristolainen situation to some extent. It's, well, he's signing. No, he's not signing. Well, he's signing. Well, he's not signing. It's been back and forth here for the last month. So, again, we're a month from the deadline. There has to be some clarity here in the next 2 weeks. So, guys, that is it for today's video. Comment down below. What do you think of these guys? Who do you think of those 3 guys that I mentioned today will be moving, and who will be staying? Tomas Hertl, Noel Acciari, and Jake Debrusk. Who stays with their team and who goes? Let me know. Guys, always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again next time.